Welcome to this fairly quick summary of Spellsiphon. First, let me just get everyone up to speed. So, Spellsiphon is a fairly new combat mod for Skyrim that was released in 2019, and it changes how you approach magic and weapon combat, and allows you to mix the two to create various combos. It also integrates with all other Skyrim systems, meaning you can use vanilla or modded spells, weapons, perks, etc. alongside it. The mod is available for PC, Xbox, and VR editions of the game. So, this mod is built around providing depth. That means it has a lot of different things you can do, and explaining all of them takes time. Luckily, you don't need to have them all explained to you immediately. The mod is designed for you to learn it one feature at a time, and start playing with that feature before moving on to the next one. Learning it all at once would be comparable to jumping into a max-level RPG character in a game that you have never played before. So keep that in mind. To get started with this mod, you can just download it and play the in-game tutorial quests. So there's no need to watch this video if you don't want to. If you prefer that approach, just go ahead and stop this video here. Right, let's get to it. So, what I have here is a sword and a standard vanilla healing spell. I have no favorites assigned and no hotkeys. On my shout button I have this special shout called Bind equipped, and which I got from reading a specific book that you will get in your inventory automatically when you first download the mod. Anytime you see my hands move downwards off screen, I'm using this special shout, like this. What happened now is that my equipment got switched into the basic Spellsiphon set. This is made up of Draw on my right hand and Ward on my left hand. These spells will be the basis for a lot of what I'm about to show you. The Ward spell lights up your surroundings like a torch, allowing you to explore with it. It also heals you by consuming magicka, and it protects you from all forms of damage by consuming stamina. That includes melee attacks, arrows, and spells. Once stamina is depleted, the ward will break. You can also time the casting of the ward for additional effects. Now for the other spell called Draw. This one, as the name implies, draws in elements from your surroundings. You can draw in the world around you, the life from enemies, or the death out of corpses. Once drawn, the element can be released back into your surroundings in the form of a spell. Which will return you to holding Draw. Life, specifically, can also be fed back into a corpse, which will reanimate it. Casting different elements in sequence will create combos, indicated by this little green swirly effect. Combos will stack up in strength, and will increase the damage of all following Spellsiphon magic used shortly afterwards. Aside from using Draw and Ward, you can also use your Shout button to summon a bound weapon, which can take several forms, and you can toggle between two of your favorite ones. This weapon scales with your magicka and will therefore grow in damage along with you when you level up. This is contrary to normal bound weapons, which have a single damage number that just stays static. These special bound weapons also have a feature to them. They will be attuned to your latest released spell. So if you draw and release World, then summon your weapon, and finally attack with it, you will create a World weapon combo called a Discharge effect. The same can be done with life. And with death. The details of exactly what these effects do will be taught to you in-game. Once done with the weapon, you can go back to spells with the shout button. Moving on from the weapons, you can also choose to draw an element and then press your shout button. This will create a special ability called a bind effect. For world, you will create what's called a weaving circle that enables dual casting and quick combo opportunities. But in exchange, it limits your freedom of movement and leaves you entirely defenseless. It also enables you to summon a meteor into the center of the circle with your shout button. For life, you will become invulnerable for a time, while healing yourself and everyone around you. For death, you will create a rune trap that charges up for a few seconds. If it reaches full charge, it will damage and stagger anyone that steps on it. All of these effects have additional details to them that you will be informed about in-game. Due to various design decisions, none of your offensive magic in this mod costs you magicka. The limiting factor instead is individual cooldowns on each ability, and this is to encourage you to vary the use of your abilities to make use of all your various cooldowns. When creating combos, you are also increasing your magicka regeneration in addition to your damage. To be fully effective, you should therefore try to throw in an external spell every now and then that will consume this extra magicka that you have, and then move back to Spellsiphon usage once you are out of magicka. And that brings us to... Since this mod revolves around draw and bind, it can become cumbersome to have to switch back to them after using other abilities, spells, and equipment. To fix that, the mod contains what's called focus settings that allow you to, for example, favorite the power, assign a hotkey to it, and just press that hotkey. The power will then cast immediately without needing you to press the shout button. And if we check our equipment again here, bind is still equipped. So you can cast your power with one button press, and you can follow that up with bind immediately. Similar settings exists for spells. And for shouts. The mod also makes use of these options itself by providing powers that make it more flexible. You can use Reshape to toggle between area and single target spells. You can use Reverse to toggle between draw and ward in the same hand. And you can use Rebalance to toggle between ward and a weapon in the same hand, or draw and a weapon in the same hand. One of these three powers can also be chosen to be assigned to a long press of your shout button to say hotkeys. So a short press would then be your normal bind functionality, and a long press would be one of these powers instead. Starting from version 4.0, which is currently in beta, the features you've seen so far will unlock gradually as you level up. When reaching higher levels, the final feature to unlock is the creature combo system, which is brand new in 4.0. This will allow you to summon Atronachs in the elements that you can normally draw. So you have World, Life, and Death. Once summoned, you can use your drawn spells to detonate these Atronachs. All of these combos can also be cast on a creature that you reanimate by feeding life into it. Again, the details of exactly what these detonations do will be taught to you in the game. The final feature I'm going to talk about is the possibility to imbue any type of weapon with a drawn spell. That includes normal swords like this, but also magic staves, and even just your empty fists if you want. It will stack with any enchantments that you may have on the weapon. Imbuing yourself means that any attack you make will now count as if you cast the imbued spell. So you can use it to build up your damage stacks faster. Or you can set yourself up for discharge combos. Being imbued even allows you to perform special elemental parrying moves. And that's it. That is the full rundown of Spellsiphon's ability set, with as little focus on details as I could manage. Now, I don't expect anyone to grasp all of that immediately. There's a lot of features, and that is fully intentional in order to provide depth, flexibility, and replayability of the mod. I greatly recommend using the in-game tutorial to learn about the mod at your own pace, where you can try things out and gradually get a feel for it. Anyway, I hope you found this useful, and have fun out there!